Myself? Well, I think I'm funny. And I get along with people really easily. I like to sing and act, because that's what my uncle used to like to do. It's what my aunt went to college for. So it kind of just runs in our family, I guess.
I've been described as resilient because in a family of 8, a lot of stuff happens. My friends describe me as loyal and pretty protective.
Sound speed, this is Gabe, take 2.
I love animals and cars.
So what is it about trucks that you love so much?
Everything. I like working on engines.
Sound speed, this is Donovan, take 3.
Like, a lot of people like to very much gravitate to the introvert or extrovert thing, but I think I'm very much an ambivert because I really like going to things like the teen center, or like I actually enjoy the social part of school. Then I also really like when I can just come down here middle of the night and just play bass for like 3 hours.
I've heard you described as the mayor of your school.
Yeah. Yes, here's the funny thing. I've been the mayor of the many schools I've been to. I consider myself like a leader. I make sure I help anybody if they need it. I'm willing to do it. I love training in Taekwondo and working with wildlife. Taekwondo because it helps me get better in life. It helps me learn self-defense. And with wildlife, it's just a thrill working with any animal in general, whether it's wild or captive.
I think I'm a pretty bubbly, happy person. I'm pretty active. I like to run races. I'm on the track team. I did cross country. I also love to play soccer, and drawing, it's very relaxing. I love just the movement of my hand on the paper and just creating something that looks really cool.
I'm a pretty neutral or generally positive person. I love art. I love watching the sunset. I play roller derby, so that's pretty cool. I've been doing that since 5th grade.
Sometimes there's a little bit of challenge because you're starting to grow up, you're starting to become more mature, you're learning more about yourself. But at the same time, you still have the same friends you did in elementary school and middle school. So to me, it's a good balance.
It's tiring. I'm tired a lot of the time, but it's also the first step into really finding out who you are.
The school part makes it hard, and the working makes it hard. But I think the easy thing is having people that are there for you and having friends that are there for you.
It's great and terrible for a myriad of reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons that it's kind of both is that we have so much more access to knowledge, so we have much more of an idea of exactly what's happening.
You're too old to do this, but you're too young to do that. And so you sometimes get lost in, okay, but what can I do if I'm just this gray area?
Living on my own, actually, I think. It's either that or being able to perform music, but I don't know how realistic it is to perform music for large groups of people and make it a living.
I'm excited to go to college because I want to major in criminal justice to be an agent, and then minor in theater. An FBI agent, which is very different from theater.
I'm most excited about the step forward. I both fear it and love the prospect of it at the same time.
Seeing where my future takes me, whether it's working with wildlife or being a videographer. I have 2 goals I want to accomplish in Taekwondo. I want to become a black belt, plus I want to be a world champion for the special needs division, be that representative for that division, because it doesn't really get talked about that much.
I don't exactly know what I want to do, but I am really interested in traveling and learning about different cultures.
I want to become a marine biologist when I'm older, or a photographer, an artist. So I'm excited about seeing the world and just having fun in life.
There was a lot of things I was worried about when I was in middle school, and that was how are things going to work in high school for me. And the reason why, because I was having such a good time in middle school with all these opportunities. I was the word wizard on our middle school's morning show. I was the leader of the running club. I was doing all these school plays. So I had having a lot of fun in middle school, but I'm like, can I have fun here in high school as well?
Failure. I fear that I'm going to make a wrong decision, take a wrong turn at the crossroads, and mess up.
That I won't be successful. I don't want to disappoint my parents, and also I don't want to starve to death.
I'm worried about losing people because it's been happening recently.
I think that they think a lot of us are way easier to offend than we are. Like we're all a bunch of snowflakes that if you say any mean word, we will instantly crumple up into a ball and cry.
A lot of people seem to wait for a teenager to screw up. They aren't focusing on the good aspects of it. It kind of goes, they ignore all the good and focus in on the bad.
That all of us have a bad attitude. And I think it depends on the person and what's going on in their life. Like with me, not the case. I'm an autistic kid who got bullied when I was younger by my older sister and by kids at school because I was different from everybody. But then I overcame that.
Maybe that we're always moody all the time. I've been called a moody sheep, but I'm not really that moody. I'm just tired.
I think there's like a whole like stereotype of like a classic teenager and what that looks like, and I don't think that there is like an average teenager. We have similarities, but none of us are at all the same.
It's given me a space I can get away. So the problems that would come from arguments that I usually have at home, things that would come up between me and my brothers and sisters, don't happen because I can de-stress and chill here.
I have gotten so many more friends because of it. I have been able to be a part of the community more because of Avenue A. I don't think our community would be the same without it.
I was in like a really depressed like place, and then Jacqueline always just reaches out and be like, oh, like, hey, can Lizzie come down and come hang out with everyone? And then my grandma's like, sure. And then, so now I do it every week.
The way, sort of the values that I've gleaned from Jacqueline and a lot of other people is to appreciate my parents more, really. It's given me more of a perspective on like, I should be grateful for what I have. I should never treat my parents as if they're antagonizing me. I should treat them with a lot of respect and a lot of gratefulness, just base. Like, and then we build on it. And then from there, that's where everything else comes.
When I first walked in, I saw like basketball, pool, and like mind-blowing moment. This place is awesome. I want to stay here forever.
The Teen Center Writers Society, I really, really enjoy that.
They have a group of kids just come in and creative write. It's a judgment-free zone. People create brilliant short stories, and it just expands their talent tenfold than if they were to just write by themselves.
Well, I have stuck with writing club since 6th grade. I'm in 11th grade, and I'm still going to writing club.
I was part of ceramics course for a while where we would go to a farmstead and create pottery.
My favorite activity at Avenue A is Just Dance. Just Dance is a game where it shows a figure on the TV screen, and you hold a remote in your hand. It has a sensor, and it watches your movements. You try and copy the dancer's movements as much as you can, and it gives you a certain number of points based on how well you copy it. If you check a lot of the songs here that we have at Just Dance, I hold the high score.
It would be a huge loss to not only me and like the teens that go, but like to the community, because the Teen Center brings the community together in more ways than it is probably recognized for. The Teen Center does so much, like Jacqueline specifically does so much for the community, and the teens, like she has a relationship with every single one of them.
Be the end of an era, I guess. I know that sounds kind of overdramatic, but that's really what it feels like. And I think that's the same thing for a lot of people. I think they really, really like having that.
Honestly, I'd be upset about it. Because I wouldn't be able to hang out with much of my friends because either they got work or something and whatnot. I wouldn't have a good time, pretty much. I'd just be stuck at home or just chilling out.
I would be really sad. It's become part of my schedule, my routine, and if it was gone, then I wouldn't be able to see some of the people, because not everybody who goes there goes to my school.
Because it's like a good, safe place for teenagers. Like, and you can just be yourself. And sometimes there's some things that you don't want to say in front of your parents, like whether it's like about your sexuality or your pronouns or anything else, you can just like be yourself and no one there is going to judge you.
The LGBTQ representation that Avenue A has is that's one of the biggest groups we have come here. It's a lot of kids who have been bullied at school for being LGBTQ, have been bullied for just self-expressing. And it's a lot of times they come here and find a community where we come and just accept them. We all have kind of felt it in one way or another. Even if somebody doesn't have kids, it's a great place to come volunteer. A lot of times where kids do fall into those bad things that teenagers have done is when they're just left to feel angry, resentful, or feel like they don't have a community. Here it keeps kids from getting in trouble, gives them something to do.
Well, it's important because like everybody of any different group, even some that would probably collide in the outside world, like they get along at the teen center. And I think it's because we have that ability to relate on being teenagers and having that lived experience of being young and partially confused, but also partially very sure of yourself in different ways in the modern world. And that is an experience that it's great to be able to share with people.
I know some kids who go there who have had like a really hard life, with dealing with like abuse and like bullying problems. So when they get there, I notice that they like to talk to like Jacqueline or like our friends about it, and it seems to really help them.
Some people don't have that like safe place to go to, and Avenue A definitely helps with that. That becomes their safe place. And everybody there is so accepting because Avenue A has at one point accepted them, so they can accept everybody else that goes there.